We do have some breaking news on the economy to bring to you now. The Federal Reserve leaving interest rates unchanged as expected. The Dow not moving a lot on the news. Right now, it's up about 0.5% as we look at the big board. Our business correspondent, Alexis Christoforous, joining me now. All right, rates are unchanged. What more do we know from the Fed?
Right, Kira, no surprise there. Baked into the action on Wall Street today was no change in interest rates. What is changing is the Fed's statement about the economy, and I want to read that statement for you. By the way, this announcement to keep interest rates steady was unanimous, so all Fed policymakers are in agreement that now is not the time to be cutting interest rates. The statement reads, uncertainty about the economic outlook has increased further, and that the risks of higher unemployment and higher inflation have risen. So basically, the Fed, for all intents and purposes, is in a really tough spot, sort of a lose-lose scenario. Do they cut interest rates and risk inflation getting out of hand? Do they wait to see if the economy slows down so much that then they need to raise interest or to cut interest rates? They're going to be data dependent as they always have been. And it looks, as according to this statement, as though the Fed wants to see more hard data before they make a move on interest rates.
So President Trump has been urging Fed Chair Jerome Powell rather, to cut rates, which obviously didn't happen. What do you make of the pressure on the Fed chair right now?
All along, when asked about this, Jerome Powell has reiterated that the Fed is an independent body, that it doesn't need to or listen to the president, the White House, or anyone else in politics, and that they need to make the best decisions for the economy. And again, in this statement today, the Fed talked about its dual mandate, which is keeping prices low and having a situation of full employment. That's really what the Fed is worried about. In the recent days, though, Trump has sort of backed off talk about firing Powell. There's even a question as to whether or not he has the ability to do that. But he did say, look, he won't be in there for long because Jerome Powell's term as Fed chair is up in May of next year. Let's not forget, though, during his first administration, Trump actually appointed Powell to this very position.
Well, when do you think the Fed could actually cut rates, Alexis?
And I'm sure that will be asked of Fed Chief Powell when he has his press conference in less than 30 minutes from now. I can tell you what the market's thinking. After we got our strong April jobs report, there was just a 28% chance, the market's putting the odds at 28%, that we get a rate cut at the June meeting, and then a 75% chance that we get a rate cut at the July meeting. Overall, Wall Street is still betting we could get 3 interest rate cuts from the Fed at some point this year. But again, Kira, it's all dependent on that data, what the Fed sees in terms of inflation and an economic slowdown.
All right, Alexis, appreciate it. Thanks so much.